Yeah, man. I'm down. This movie was good. It was doing good.
It was dang good.
Was that
Very good.
It was. You ready?
Yes.
All right. What's up, my know-it-alls? Welcome to the full-on spoiler discussion. Mr. Know-it-all and I just got out of seeing the movie. I have already posted the non-spoiler review, so hopefully you're getting an opportunity to watch that before you watch this one. Otherwise, you're going to be spoiled because we're going to talk all about it.
All spoils.
Yeah. And this is a more of a discussion, less of a, blow by blow, more of a, hey, what we thought of the whole thing. And, let's get into it. Thunderbolts, man. Right?
It was great. It was a good time. Well, at one point I was sitting like this. I wasn't sitting in my seat, and it was, but it was good.
I'm really shocked. What I say, after I walked out of this movie theater, I said, this is not a Marvel movie. This is just a movie.
A really good movie.
Yeah.
But it has the beats of Marvel. I mean, we talked about
some, but that's more the information. But like for me, I'm like, this has like Scorsese said, cinema. Like this was a movie. Like
it was.
There was engaging plot. There was okay. So for me,
you cared about
the opening, but the opening DeFontaine on trial at her impeachment.
Yeah.
I could care less. Like literally that was a little cartoonish. But once you got past that into the motivations that had her, because
we needed it though.
Getting them to the vault site, that felt the most, that whole opening felt the most contrived. But once you were there, everything worked. From there forward, whenever I did like the opening with Elena. The opening where she's talking.
Yeah.
And then she
falls off of a building.
But you find out she's talking to the hostage guy.
It's like your mind is somewhere else.
That was a good open, yeah. And then he accidentally got killed anyway. Right. Like, collateral.
Florence Pugh is doing really amazing work in this thing.
I
like her.
One of the things I feel like, I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like, how the Avengers, all those movies that we had before Endgame was really about Stark, Tony Stark.
Yeah.
I feel like this might be more like about her.
Oh, wow.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
Only because of the way it started.
She's got a journey, that's for sure. The whole idea that, what's her face? Allegra. I keep wanting to call her Allegra by her name.
I know, it's Valentina.
Valentina. I kind of Allegra, probably because I take that for my allergies. Part of the funny thing about Julia Louis-Dreyfus is...
Valentina, Allegra DeFontaine,
not Fontaine. It's right. Oh my gosh, we got to see. Yeah, it's funny now. His name escapes me. The actor he's moonlighting in both. He walks in both circles. He's playing Perry White in Superman coming up in 2 months. He plays the head of the oversight committee that's impeaching her. In this movie, which is great. I'll put his picture on the screen.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh. What's his name?
He was also in Jack Ryan.
Yes, he was. He played Jack's boss.
Yeah. And funny is, I follow him on X and a couple other social medias. His name is...
It's literally like right here. Like,
But Bucky's a senator.
Dude. Well, he's a congressman. Yeah, he's a congressman. And congressman for Barnes, and he was only there for a half term. For less than half term.
Yeah, he's there for Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because it's like he gets invited to this thing and he shows up and people are like, what do you think of this and that, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it's worry me.
My constituents are worried.
So I'm going to look into this worriedness. I was like, right on.
You could tell he's not one for the press.
No, for sure. He is so not the guy. But then he can't help himself. And he goes in and he watches the proceedings. I did think is interesting because we don't think about it because we've seen all these MCU projects. The Avengers are gone, basically. There are no Avengers.
Just Sam Wilson's only around.
Right. And even what little bit they had with Sword has been because of the events of the really stupid and horrible Secret Invasion series. Sword's gone. That space station's gone. Miss Captain Marvel's now, she's left the planet. She's off
doing other planety
we
things.
saw in the Marvels that there's some issues there. So again, we don't have, that's her whole point.
We don't have the Avengers anymore.
And this, I thought when they talked about the company, the science research company, I thought it was
Oxford?
Oxcorp.
Oxcorp.
Yeah, Oxcorp or something like that. Anyways, whatever. I thought they were saying Oscorp. Oscorp is Harry Osborn from Spider-Man and Norman Osborn, like that new company that the bad guy becomes Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I thought that's what, at first I was like, are they backdoor introducing Oscorp? What? But no, it was Oxcorp.
Oxcorp.
And I was like, okay, which in the context of this, they're kind of like a BlackRock or one of those like government contract companies that does stuff. This one, they were researching like how to make a superhero.
Yeah, or they were. It was kind of like they did to Bucky, I guess. Just different.
Yeah.
Just different.
And so she's trying to clean up everything because of this impeachment thing.
And they were the collateral of it. Like she wanted to get rid of all like people, and they're all there to kill each other.
What? Taskmaster.
I was gonna say you had not a problem, but you were just more curious. Like she's not even on there. Bob is.
There she is. So she's still out.
Yeah.
Okay, and Bob's in the back feeding her pulling her out. So Taskmaster, no wonder the actress hasn't been. There's apparently, I must have my head under a rock or in the sand. There was apparently drama. There has to be. I have to look it up. I'm sure people are online and be like, oh yeah, it was this and this. Comment below. I'd love to know. She wasn't any of the press tours.
No.
She wasn't. And I think there's one, I remember seeing one cut of her saying something along the lines of, they made some edits in the I don't know. Most of my parts have been cut. I'm hardly in it. And I'm like,
she was in it for maybe 5 seconds. 5 minutes. She
shows up, exchanges blows with discount Captain America, or dime store Captain America. I thought it was great. They call him dime store Captain America. I felt bad for Walker, poor guy. And then Ghost just kapah, and you're like, okay.
And that's it. Taskmaster's gone, just like that.
I'm like, what?
Well, and then Elena's like, she was like me, but she had a really wrong life.
It's terrible.
She did.
Then we meet Bob.
I like Bob. I love his personality that he has.
He reminded me of, do you remember the A-Team?
Very vaguely.
He reminded me of the goofball in the A-Team in that he kept frustrating Walker. And Walker was just like, can we stop saying your name now? Or it's thanks. So how did you get here? What's going on? Like, and dude's just like, what's going on?
Walker knew because that box was there. He was just waiting for him to say it. Because if you remember, there was a scene where Walker's he puts his hands on, like, it looked like a coffin.
Right. With the, yeah.
Which I'm wondering if it was a coffin and he wasn't dead.
Like they thought they had got rid of him.
Dead. But what would he be doing though? Anyways, it doesn't matter. But we got Bob.
Yeah. We got Robert Reynolds, the Sentry. And we do, again, this is full spoilers. You see him in his full Sentryness.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, again, so the Sentry has a funny.
I was going to say, is the Sentry a bad guy or a good guy? Or just smack in the middle?
Both. He is both good guy and
I figured that's as much, especially after he sucked everybody up. And
Robert Reynolds has he has the like stereotypical dissociative personality disorder. Look at this separate personality, but that it's steeped in his depression in the comic books. I'm sure there might be deeper things, and you even said that there was.
It sounded very this is what made it a movie, and almost like. Is it rated PG-13? And I get why it would have been. It does do it dives into mental health a lot, and not just with Bob, but with Elena too. These are broken people that are in this movie
which makes sense that Allegra has been, I can't remember her first name anymore. It's literally Valentina. Thank you. Valentina's been playing with these broken toys. Yeah. Like she's been using them because they were all could be used. Walker wanted purpose. So after the whole debacle in Falcon and Winter Soldier, so she gives him purpose and is like, sure, you want to go missions, go do this thing, blah, blah. Each of them had a thing.
Except for Alexi. Who the hell are you? She says. When
Guardian is the standout.
he is what you need for this. If we didn't have him, it would be such a darker movie.
David Harbour is magical in this.
He is amazing. He's an amazing actor anyway.
He is. No, he is. I was transfixed by him. Every time he's on screen, he is engaging. He dives deep into the character. He's sitting there and it's like clearly broke as a joke. He's in his boxers and a robe and there's a knock at the door and he's like, I put leave on doorstep on the app.
Your subordinates will be reported to DoorDash HQ.
I will report you to your supervisors.
The headquarters of the HQ doors of DoorDash.
That's just like, I was like, right on, bro. He's so he is as Russian as Chekhov from Star Trek.
Oh, really?
So, he's so
Russian.
He's shade Russian.
You're Russian.
Right. And I didn't expect the relationship with him and Elena to go as hard as it did.
I wanted to cry.
Bro, I got emotional hard.
Absolutely. When she said daddy.
When the first time or second, the first time,
Elena!
Hi, Dad.
she's like, Dad, it's me. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, right on. And they're like, it's been about a year since they've seen each other. And then later on, when she's like, we're losers. We just lost after they get their butts handed to them by Sentry. And he's chasing after her. And she's like, why didn't you go? He's like, I didn't think you wanted to see me. She goes, I did want to see you. I was like, oh my God.
Daddy, I'm not okay.
Yeah, man. And because you got to remember, he raised her for the earliest part of her formative. Yeah, that's her earliest. That's the only dad figure she's got.
Right.
He's so funny because they have a moment earlier when she first came, and he's like, and she's like, why do you want this and that? What does that mean? What does it mean to have this? And he's like, it's having purpose. It's serving your country. It's answering that call. Mm-hmm. And then the real key's like, it's fame. There's all that he wants, and he just wants to be recognized. Mm-hmm. The guy's got all the
for fame.
He could literally be Captain America in terms of strength and ability, but he was just discarded by the Red Room and all that stuff in Russia. And it's so they've all got sad stories on some level.
They all have a story on some like Walker is not. He is so depressed because of what happened in Winter Soldier. No, not Winter Soldier. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, no, not the Winter Soldier movie. Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, you're right.
He was discarded as well. And he's just suffering, and it's infecting his son and his wife, his relationship.
She took his kid from him and left. And we see a brief moment because each time that they, which I thought that was interesting because I've never seen that.
Just touching,
right? Just a little bit too long, and you get sucked into this into a memory, and it's apparently your darkest memory, and then you come out of it. What's going on? And it's.
But it's not just your darkest memory. It's all because with Elena, it was when she was a little girl, and then it was when she, tried to unalive herself. In the bathroom. So it's like and they lighten it up because Marvel did a very good job lighting up this scene.
Sure.
Is we didn't get to see Bucky. But what did Bucky say? He's like, I lived a pretty good life. He's like, there was nothing bad to see.
Yeah,
like Bucky, some so I mean they did do a good job of lightening up the atmosphere.
That's when they get sucked into the void.
Yeah, when they got sucked into the void.
So.
Which let's talk about the void because I thought they were all poofed away, but no, they're like in this darkness. Valentina. Like Valentine. That's why I went like this.
I like her so bad. Anyway, Valentina, her assistant, tries to warn her that the psychological profile for Robert Reynolds is rough.
Yes.
And so she's like, okay, well, there's a kill switch. Well, the kill switch is basically just a chip in his brain.
Right,
and that will essentially explodes and usually that kind of thing is a failsafe because you can't stop it. It's too fast to be stopped. You know what I'm saying? And so he starts getting all kinds of uppity. Because she's telling him, ordering him to do this after he cleans the clock of the team. And he's like, but I'm a god. And you said I'm more powerful than all the Avengers combined. One of them was a god by extension. And she's like,
I am God.
whoa. She's like, whoa, big fella.
She couldn't control him like she wanted to.
So she tries to set the thing off. He stops her. Her assistant manages to do it. And you see it go off, and he looks like he dies.
He drops.
That's all the void. That's all the entry the void needed that had been growing inside him. The void is actually just a result. It's his alter ego.
It's his darkest. It's his depression. It's his anxiety. It's anything dark that happened in his life. Like, because remember, Elena said, "Oh, he just push it when we first meet them. You just push this, down because you don't, and she has to tell him that she was wrong. That you have to."
The assistant, when she was talking, she says because she's warning her, she says to her, she's like, you understand, like, you give the super soldier serum to someone like Steve Rogers, you can Captain America. He's great. But
Right.
this guy, you give him anything like this, and it's bad. This is not good. And that's something they have always maintained, is that the super soldier system doesn't make you a superhero.
Right.
It just gives you strength and agility and all this other nonsense. For Red Guardian, you're still a drunk bum.
Yeah.
Okay. For Bucky,
He's got his own demons.
It's like Steve in that he was able to come back from it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. He's like Steve, and I think Steve is unique. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, man. So you give power. Absolute power corrupts. But if you're already corrupted, it's rough.
Yeah.
So and then he's tell me how spooky that we've seen it in the trailers. I feel like they should never have ruined it. They shouldn't have ruined it in the trailers. They should have shown people running from the shadows. But to see them just become this dark smudge shadow, and you're like, oh, it's so crazy.
Well, which I thought was really even his alter ego, all the bad when the bad Bob, he doesn't kill them. He puts them in a nightmare basically, which I guess is better because I feel like he still had a bit of a conscience. Now I don't know.
I can see that. I love how awesome was it that Elena goes in. I don't know if she was actually giving up or if she was going in because she thought there was something. Because there's nothing that tells us there's an end to go.
No,
So you don't know.
Well, and I think that's why she went was either way. I'm going to do this, whether it's the end of it or I can reach him. And there was something about, I think, the way when he was in the sky or as he's in the sky, there was something about him I think that she had seen.
Right.
Because remember, this is before she told him that you don't push this down, you deal with it. So that's why she had to go and have him deal with it. And I think it was just a 50-50 shot, but I think something told her it was okay. Only because she closed her eyes and she had that meditative moment. Guys, she's like, I'm making a calculated decision to do this.
Okay.
Because I really believe he's okay.
I like it.
It was just, and I'm also sure I'd have the same opinion if she didn't have that moment.
No, that makes sense though. I like that. I think that works for me. Let me know what you guys think too. I would love to know. Like seriously, what are your thoughts about that whole thing? Is that your read also? Because I actually think that's a smart read.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Because at first I was like, was she trying to end herself? Or had she finally reached the end and was like, all right, I'm gonna make that like up in the skyscraper, but she knew this would have a different effect? I don't know. But then she finds herself stuck in her memory, only to realize she can get out by basically knocking
down walls to go to another memory.
Right. Till eventually she finds herself in Bob's memory.
Because she sees him in the mirror. So when she jumps through the mirror, though, she ended up in her bathroom.
What about the team following?
Well, and the thing is, they knew Elena enough to know that she did it for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't remember who said that. But one of them said, well, she did it for a reason. I think it was what's her name, Ghost, that actually said it.
Sure. If she did
it for a reason.
Yes.
So then they're like, oh, well.
And then even he latched the Red Guard latched on to it.
He's like, let's go.
Let's go.
What I liked is he believed that she was dead, that she was gone, that she, chose his path. And I liked that he felt very emotional about that. Because they had to bring him back.
Yeah.
They had to hold him back.
I loved their hero moments. I love when they got as the rubble's falling from the sink.
I really-
They're catching stuff and they're doing things, and like even the one that's about to hit the little girl, and you see Rick Golden catches it, and she looks at him, and he wanted that moment so badly, you know. And then she disappears in a puff, and I was like,
I did the same thing. I was like,
it was so startling.
you weren't expecting it.
No, this whole
Oh, but what about like when the big piece, and then all of them have to push it back? So I really thought we were gonna get a really cool like Avengery moment, like a stance. Yeah, like a really good. No, not at all. We didn't get that. But it was like that made sense to me though that they didn't give it to them either.
Yeah. And then but then they finally follow Elena, and they go in, and she's the minute she's trying to talk Bob, because Bob's there.
Bob's gotta talk him. Yeah.
She's trying to talk him out. The environment starts fighting her. Chairs flying at her, everything out, the whole thing.
And then they show up.
They show up and rescue her, and you're like, oh! And then, dude, he manages to take them, because they said, they're like, if this isn't the safe place, take it to the dangerous places. We gotta see what we're missing.
You have to go
Right.
to like your worst.
And his worst is the first time he manifested as Void.
Yeah.
Because of what they'd done.
Right. It's the medical. It's the medical thing.
That's what did it. It not only gave him power, it gave his alter ego power, and the only power his alter ego wanted was like.
And he doesn't remember when his alter ego comes out. He doesn't remember what happened.
Like a lot, like
which reminded me of which is why I think they did delve right into it. It reminds me, and if I'm wrong about the definition, someone with manic depression, bipolar disorder, where like they would go, you get the really highs, because he talked about going really high and really low, and then blacking out.
Right.
So so they like I said, this I'm glad it was rated PG-13, because it does go a bit.
You reminded me very, but it's like like you say,
Yeah.
You leaked over during the credits. We're waiting for the end, because by the way, there's a scene right at the end, which is kind of creditsy, and then there's a scene at the very, very end of the credits.
Oh yeah, mid credit
and you're like, can you imagine how do you bring a kid here ready to see this and that, like superheroes?
Yeah.
And really, I'm like, this isn't a superhero movie.
It's not.
These are all people in tactical gear who are facing unbelievable odds. It was a movie.
Which was amazing. It was an amazing movie.
Yeah, man. This was probably one of the most cinematic movies I've seen from the Marvel.
And it worked in 3D.
It really did, actually. It did.
And I think it'd be just as good if it wasn't in 3D.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
what were you saying?
I wanted to talk about the news conference.
Bro.
So they're going after Valentina. I said it for you.
Thank you. They see her, and she's like, whoa, hang on, everybody, hang on. But there's this like,
just let me talk. Just give me a minute. And she goes through. And it's a press conference.
And you're like, what?
And then, so, and I love what Elena said at the end. She's like, we own you. And I'm like, yes, you do. That's another reason why I think it's more of a Elena story that we're going to get with the new Avengers.
I could see that. I'm very interested to see where they go with this. This is another moment though, where I'm sitting here going, this is New York City taking devastating things are happening in New York City. Where's Daredevil? Where's Spider-Man? I feel like in Secret Wars, you're going to have some of these people carrying.
And I think they will, because, we know that Spider-Man's coming out. When's they coming out? So they're rebuild. They're doing like they did with, I think, their last round. Because remember, it took how many years to get to Endgame?
No, I know. I'd be very interested to see what.
I feel like this is. Kids grew up watching this, and they're young adults now, and this is for the young adults to follow now, like we're following.
Sure.
You know, they grew up with Spider-Man and Captain America, and now they have the more serious side of what it's like to be a superhero. You know, so I think it's a new generation. The generation's continuing. It's not creating a new generation.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I do. I agree with that. Yeah. So what do you real deep spoilers now. So if you haven't seen it, why are you here? The new Avengers, she calls them, names them out. And you actually see the asterisk stands for that, because the asterisk is there. Thunderbolts is apparently, in the comics, it was based on Thunderbolt Ross. but he's long gone in this case.
Right.
Though they do name drop him as she's talking about threats. And she's like, the president just turned into a big red rage monster, blah, 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 whatever.
Which is why when you had said that it was a little, they didn't really need the impeachment proceedings. They really did though, because she had to point out all the bad things that are possibly happening. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, no. And so then they get named at the end of the new Avengers, and they're going to be working out of that old Avengers building, which is interesting. Get through the credits, and then at the very end, we see them pretty much, because we get a montage through the credits of them, of the different artsy magazine covers.
Yeah, like
I couldn't tell if those were AI or if they were like AI, meaning like the way that Secret Invasion had used the AI intro, because they looked painterly, but it was like a weird flowing, moving painterly that was very reminiscent.
It was very there was movement.
Yeah. And you get to see sort of you start saying, not my Avengers, and all the, the B-Vengers, not the, get out. And so then finally we get the very, very end, and it's funny, Bucky's hair looks coiffed. Like,
I don't know what they're doing with.
Elena's hair leaves, she's going for the wet hair look. Ghost has her hair done. Like,
Yeah, you can tell that if these were like the magazine shots that they were looking that were real for New York at the time, in that time, it's a little ridiculous, just a little bit. The bent shield, he still, and that's the other thing in one of the magazine shots during the credits is he's sitting on a taco shield.
So that whole fight, when they face Sentry for the first time in the same place where Tony Stark and the Avengers arrested Loki, and they are fighting him, I got shades of Justice League when the Justice League is fighting Superman and Superman isn't even phased, because they're trying, he's moving super fast around them.
Yeah,
And then like you said, at one point he grabs dude's shield and just bends it, and you're like, oh, and he keeps it, like you pointed out.
But what I thought was really cool, which is why we like Bob, is Valentina's like, you were supposed to get rid of them. He's like, why would I kill them? He's like, they didn't do anything to me. And that's
She's like, they're evil.
No, he would know if they are or not. I mean, he saw them try to kill each other, number one, and but worked together to get out, including him.
Agreed. No, it was, and it was good. I enjoyed the movie. And of course during that last end credit thing, we could see them all looking good, and like new Avengers a whole bit, and we find out that
Guardian is. Let's not spoil, but
Sam is apparently trying to organize his own group.
Right.
And they're like, what's he going to call it? Isn't that? He's apparently filing for copyright of the name the Avengers. And because he's got the shield, he's Captain America. So he technically leads the team. And it's one of those things where you're like, oh, okay. And I feel like when they start going to that kind of a place, I'm like, are we going to get like Avengers versus the new event? Like, is there a fight coming in the future? Because there's a not Jason Aaron, there's another writer, Hickman. Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers, which covers a lot of ground that this is inspired by. And so I'd be interested to look and see what the deal is. So overall, the movie to me felt like, I've seen it compared to Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think that's wrong. I feel like it's, because this is like Guardians of the Galaxy grown up.
It is a really, really amazing movie with Marvel tones,
with people running around
and being superheroes.
Yeah, but otherwise,
it's a great movie.
It was just a really engaging movie.
Yeah,
and
brother know it all that.
Yeah,
I told him what to expect. He's gonna go see it on Sunday, and I told him, I said, you need to. I could go in knowing you're gonna watch an amazing movie. Maybe not an amazing Marvel movie, because I think everybody, I feel like everyone judges it by Endgame, and that's so unfair. So I told him, I said, just go in. You're going to see an amazing movie.
And it really was. Again, I enjoyed the heck out of it. Do you want to give your score?
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Nice. And as you guys saw on my solo score, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I really did like this. I felt like it is a Marvel movie like we've never seen. It's a wonderful movie in general. Now, I don't think it's going to get any recognition from like Academy Awards or anything
No.
like that because people are dumb and they don't care. But like they're just like superheroes, whatever. But I feel like this, like there were really nuanced performances. It's one thing to be the heroes. It's another thing to be people who are on a redemption arc who then do the heroic thing.
The only reason why I gave it a 9 out of 10 was I would have liked to have seen Ghost more.
Yeah,
I mean, because I really liked her character.
I did too.
I don't know, and just maybe some more instead of it being because they bickered a whole lot because it was new.
They totally
They were new together.
Yeah.
So the only reason why I gave it a 9 out of 10 was because again I would like to see more interaction with them and more than what we got. But otherwise, it was a wonderful movie. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed the heck out of it. So, all right, well, there you go. Now you know. If you have the battle, you have to, you know it all yourself. I am so glad that we watched this, and I'm so glad that you watched it with us or got the chance to experience this conversation. I'm hopeful, man. I hate to say that because I feel like we're, you just kind of you bury the lead here. The comparison that I used for this was this is Andor for the MCU. So Star Wars is known for being very kid-like and very adventuresome and
Andor is not bad at all.
very gritty and serious.
Yeah.
It's very
Okay, I can see that.
This was the MCU being earnest, and it didn't feel like a put on. Like it actually felt like they were. I'm down. I'm here for this. I hope that even when they do bring some things together, these guys don't get lost in that shuffle of becoming too glossy.
Right.
So that's the one thing is this movie is not MCU glossy. It's not. And I'm okay with that. I dig it. I dug the whole thing. So comment below. Let us know what you thought of the movie. If you have an opportunity to see it. If you haven't seen it yet, again, what are you doing here? But otherwise, join us on all the social medias. We'll talk again very, very, very soon. Never forget.
Everyone loves a know-it-all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.